E.N.D here. We have a new combo between Thassa, Deep Dwelling, and Claim the Firstborn. Thassa, Deep Dwelling, is the blue god from Talos Beyond Death. She's indestructible and has a very particular and very simple ability that says, at the beginning of your end step, exile up to one other target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. For 3 and 1 blue, you tap another target creature. Basically, at the beginning of your end step, you target another creature, not her, and you can exile it and return it back again to the battlefield under your control. So you have to have control of the creature, exile it, and return it back. I have already did another video regarding Thassa during the spoiler season, where there is another combo with the Master of Waves, where you can exile the Master of Waves and return it back without, obviously you don't need to give, because you don't need to give priority to your opponent because it's exile and return it back, and the tokens survive. And also once the Master of Waves hits again the battlefield, you will create more tokens. Now, as I said, there is a new combo with Claim the Firstborn. Claim the Firstborn is an uncommon card from Throne of Eldraine. For 1 red, you will gain control of target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less until end of turn. You untap that creature and it gains haste until end of turn. Therefore, you will gain control of a creature that is 3 or less in converted mana cost. You will gain control to that creature until the end of the turn. Now, let's see how this new combo works. First of all, let's build our battlefield. We need very few lands. For 3 blue and 1 red, they are enough. We're going to cast Thassa. Thassa need 3 any color and 1 blue. We have our mana. We tap our mana. We cast Thassa. Thassa goes on the stack. At this stage, obviously, can be countered, can be responded. If it resolves, it comes in the battlefield. Because you don't have devotion, because you have only 1 blue devotion, Thassa is only an enchantment and it's not a creature. Let's say it's our turn again. Thassa is still on the battlefield and we're going to play Claim the Firstborn. We're going to tap 1 red and we're going to play Claim the Firstborn. Claim the Firstborn goes on this stack, can be countered, can be responded. If nothing happens, obviously it resolves, and once it resolves, it goes into the battlefield and you gain control of a creature, obviously from your opponent's creature, that has a converted mana cost 3 or less. So in my case, I'm going to gain control of his or her Murderous Rider. Murderous Rider, it's a 3 converted mana cost. Now I control it, I untap it, it has haste, so I can do anything that I want with Murderous Rider. I can attack, but in my case I'm not going to do nothing. Now look what is going to happen. The turn is going to end, and remember that Claim the Firstborn says that I gain control of the creature until end of turn. But there's a but. Thassa says that at the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 other target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So look what happens. It is the beginning of my end step. It is not my end step, it is the beginning. So Murderous Rider is still in my control, and I'm going to exile another target creature, because I cannot exile her. I have to exile another creature and return it to the battlefield. So I'm going to exile Murderous Rider. Murderous Rider is exiled and returns to the battlefield immediately. Look what happens. As soon as I exile Murderous Rider, the restriction that I have control until end of turn, it is removed as soon as the card is exiled from the battlefield. This is a very important. I'm going to explain it very simple. I'm not going to go into specific rules, but once Murderous Rider is on the battlefield, Claim of the Firstborn rule still applies. That means that I gain control until end of turn, but as soon as I exile it, that particular restriction is removed from the battlefield too. As soon as I return Murderous Rider back from exile, the restriction doesn't return with Murderous Rider. That means that now it's end of turn, because it was beginning of end of turn and I exiled it. Now it's end of turn. I'm going to give turn to my opponent and Murderous Rider remains into my possession. This is a very interesting combo between Thassa and Claim the Firstborn. But not only Claim the Firstborn, there's also Act of Treason. Act of Treason let you gain control of a target creature until end of turn. Obviously, Act of Treason, it's 2 and 1 red, therefore you can control any target creature. If you cast Act of Treason, obviously it goes on this deck and be responded, let's say it's resolves. Once it's resolves, let's say I'm going to gain control of Questing Beast, my opponent's Questing Beast. It is a creature, and again, once it is the beginning of my end step, I'm going to use Thassa ability. I'm going to exile Questing Beast. Once Questing Beast is exiled, the restriction of Act of Treason is removed from the game. Therefore, when I return Questing Beast back to the battlefield, now it is into my control permanently. If Thassa dies or is exiled, I still remain in control of my 2 new creatures. This is a very interesting, as I said, combo between these 3 cards, Claim the Firstborn, Thassa and Act of Treason. Let's see how much out of you will play this particular combo during a standard sanction tournament. Here there is the subscription button. Subscribe for my channel for more interesting videos like this one about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.